that question is basically, how do I get hit by lightning, right?
Yes.
Because that causes a big shift. You get hit by lightning. And so, and I talk about my experience in those terms too, using lightning as a metaphor. When you get struck by the inner lightning, everything vaporizes. So, but if you've done enough work, then you fully go with that and don't reconstitute yourself. You vaporize and you stay vaporized, right? And so I lived in Colorado for many years, and I learned this. Colorado, again, Rockies, at the high mountains, it's actually after the timberline, right? It's pretty bare. And if you go there, they have many lightning storms in Colorado. If you go up there, you're very exposed. The probability of getting hit by lightning is pretty high, okay? And they get a lot of lightning. I mean, like amazing frequency. And if you are there, you're asking for trouble, basically, okay? So that's something, you can still not control the lightning, right? But you can dramatically increase the probability of getting hit by lightning. So it's putting yourself in places where the frequency of lightning is high. And another analogy which comes to mind is, if you've flown through a lightning storm, I mean, the modern aircraft, they tell you can handle lightning, but when you're actually in a lightning storm, it can't handle anything. It's like, it'll just get thrown around, just like that. But if you fly through a lightning storm, so you could do that too, because we can elevate our consciousness to one of those stratospheric levels where the clouds are all, charged, right? If you fly through that, boy, you're asking again for trouble. You're going to be surrounded by lightning, and you'll probably get hit by lightning. So these things happen. So one way of translating all that, if that sounds too metaphoric, hang out with people with high consciousness. That's like a little bit like being in a lightning storm. Sooner or later, you'll get hit. Another one is, I would say, increasingly, truly give yourself to the light. See, it's don't expect I did that now. Well, what's happening? Nothing's happening. Well, it happens, believe it or not. I mean, it'll happen in its own time, but internal giving yourself to it, that's a big deal. I mean, I don't want to, and I'm not even telling anybody that's what you should do, because that's up to each person. But when you do that, it's almost like you've already there, because you've really given yourself away, so there's nothing left. Lightning and all this stuff can happen whenever, but you've already, that's a pretty powerful thing. So it's not just waiting for something. When you live from a place of completely having given yourself to the light, to infinity, your life is already going to look very different, because you will see that all the arrows and stones and all these things that life is constantly seems to be tossing at us, they don't have the effect they used to. Big difference. Why? Because you have already put light in charge of your being. So these things simply are softened to such a degree, it's quite startling. And so you've already done something very big at that point. And then certain things need to happen, they will happen. And that is, the grace of light, the grace of infinity, that it has its own time, it has its own logic. which is impossible to figure out. When you choose light, life becomes increasingly joyful, purposeful, and inspired. I invite you to join me to explore the realms of light, the infinite possibilities that light offers.